tell me a lie.
Good morning. It is a beautiful autumn day. I am out for my morning walk, and as you can see, it is very autumn out here, and this is just a great way to start the day. I'm going to be taking you with me today just to go through a little bit of a vlog of things I'm getting up to. I have a broccoli cheddar soup I'm going to make, and I want to show you my pantry. But first, let's just keep enjoying this beautiful autumn walk. It is a warmer autumn day today. It's like mid-60s, which is a lot warmer because we've been having some days in the 40s already. So let's just get out here and enjoy it.
Getting distracted. I keep wasting my time telling everyone everything's fine. I'm feeling disconnected. Got my head in the clouds, but my dreams got its feet on the ground. And I keep searching for truth. Got the millennial blue.
Okay, made it back to the car. That was a really, really nice walk. Just the leaves are so pretty right now. It actually, what usually happens is when the leaves are at their peak, like early to mid-October, they're absolutely beautiful, but we get a rain or a wind and it takes most of them off the trees really early. But this year, actually, we never had a huge rain or wind. So there's still lots of leaves on the trees as well as on the ground. They're so pretty to walk through, and just that crunch. I really love being outside in autumn. But we got a pretty good walk in this morning, 2.55 miles. Not bad, a little shorter than sometimes, but as I'm going into the colder season, it's gonna be less walking, and I just gotta get used to that. I want to be somebody who really gets outside a lot in the winter, but I just realistically am not at this point in time, which is so sad too, because in Maine, there's so many recreational things to do in winter. There's snowshoeing, snowboarding, skiing, snowmobiling, and I've barely done any of those things, which is just shameful. To my credit, a lot of those things do involve a certain amount of money to do, so that is the main reason. But I really want to try to get more into hiking and just even going outside as we're going into winter. But I still have a little bit more cleaning up I want to do, and then I am going to make a nice autumn meal, broccoli cheddar soup. And I also want to show you where my pantry is at, all my homegrown, home canned foods, because we just got done with the garden, so there's quite a bit from the garden, but at the same time I need to replenish some of the things like the broths and things like that. So we'll look at it together. But I hope just getting out there and showing you some of the beauty outside inspires you to maybe get outside a little bit more as we're getting colder, because it's so beautiful. And I know I need to be reminded sometimes too that just because it's getting cold does not mean everything comes to an end, that you have to be sad and depressed. You just have to adapt yourself to be able to fit in the environment more. So I'll check in with you in a little bit. Okay, here I am. I gotta go downstairs. Sorry, the light is very bad. The lighting will be very bad down here, but I am getting ready to make the broccoli cheddar soup, and I gotta grab some chicken broth. So I figured going in the basement, go into my pantry. Now would be a great time to show you what we have in the pantry. Like I said, lighting is awful down here, but it is a unfinished basement, so what are you gonna do? Maybe I'll take my glasses off so there's at least not the glare of every little tiny light. But here is what we have currently. Not like a whole lot, not like those big beautiful pantries if you watch those videos, but very happy with it, and I need to stock up on some things. But let's go over first what I just started canning from the summer garden, and I've already used a lot of this stuff too, so this is not how much I canned up. If you want to know that, I talk about it in the actual canning videos that I've done. But first off here, this is new this year, I canned some tomato juice. As you can see, it separates a little bit, but this is so good. It works fantastic. It's what I use making homemade tomato soup. You can use it in chilies or sauces if you want to. I don't, but you could, and it is wonderful. Also made some ketchups, and yeah, it's brown, and it almost is barbecue-y flavor because of how much I really cooked it down, but it's so good. I made some in little ones, and then I made a second batch that's a little more red, a little less barbecue-y, more ketchup-y, and it is in a huge one. That is also a new canning project this year for the first time, and it turned out so good. It tastes so much better than any ketchup I've ever had. Of course, my crushed tomatoes. I did these last year too. Last year was my first year canning. Crazy how we're already in year 2, but I made up oh wow. Whoa. Science. Anyway, I made up a good amount of these. This is what I use in things like chilies and spaghetti sauce. That's what most of these are, and then a couple of ketchups on the end here. Then we have some green tomato relish, which I've never made before, but I was inspired to because I had so many green tomatoes left over that I didn't want to go to waste. So I made up a bunch of relish. It tastes really good. I do like relish on things like hot dogs and stuff, and maybe I'll find more ways to use it. But we got quite a few right here. I think behind too. Yeah, all of this green tomato relish. Then we got a few different types of pickles. We got classic bread and butter that turned out so good last year. That I never was a bread and butter gal, but those just tasted so good. So I made up a good amount of those, and then also a bunch of dill pickles. Usually I'm not huge on pickles, so what I usually put them in is stuff like macaroni salad, stuff like that. More of summery, springy food, but I did end up using all the pickles that I made last year pretty much perfectly. So I used up the last of last year's batch right before I started canning this year's batch. So yeah, this is definitely a working pantry opposed to just a fully stock up like survival type pantry. I like to grocery shop from my pantry. So of course there's an aspect to it. You want to be prepared in case of anything happening, but I definitely like to work through it. And then this little section here is a bunch of pickled beets, and these are just so good. They're delicious snack. Down here is the rest of the applesauce that I did last fall, and there was like a huge thing of eating applesauce in the house during the time I made as much as I did, and then it just died out like immediately after I made all these. So we haven't gone through them super fast, but my plan is to make a lot of desserts with some of these. I'm not going to do any more applesauce this fall. I might get some local apples and do some crushed apples for like apple pie filling, stuff like that. Maybe not, we'll see. But yeah, I think it'll be really good if I make what's it called? Like turnovers with some applesauce in it. Apple turnovers would be really good. But that's kind of my plan. And then finally, down here, this is the last of the chicken broth. So last year, around this time, I ordered from my meat guy a bunch of just chicken parts, like discard parts. It had feet, necks, I even found a head in there. But basically with that, I made a bunch of chicken broth. And it filled, when I first stocked it up last year, this one, that one, I think maybe even one more, like 3 or 4 shelves full of these jars. And they've been fantastic. I've used them in so many things, any soup bases, any kinds of gravies when I'm cooking, all kinds of stuff, putting it in rice. And this is what we have left. So pretty soon, because I'm going to take up one for the broccoli cheddar soup, pretty soon I am going to have to order some more and do that again. I'm also going to do more beef broth. I didn't make as much, but I'm going to have to do that soon too. I have some parts for it in the freezer to make some. So yeah, just really proud with all that, how that's worked out. And canning has definitely just been a great thing to learn how to do, a great thing to add to my, I guess, arsenal of things I know how to do. And it has really made a big difference in my homesteading journey with what I'm able to use, with how much I'm able to grow in the garden, and how much I'm able to make for myself so I don't have to get more really expensive options to get something good, all kinds of stuff. But let's head up and get out of this really bad lighting. It looks like a bit of a horror movie. Don't look at all the stuff. It's really not good. I have to go back downstairs because I forgot my glasses down here. Does anybody else's brain just not fully function from a day-to-day basis? Or is it just me? Please let me know. Hello. It is a new day, and remember when I said I wanted to make some like apple turnover pastries? Well, today is going to be that day, and it is really easy. We're just going to start with making the puff pastry itself, which is pretty much the same almost as my pie crust recipe, maybe a little more water. And the big technique of it is just continually folding that dough over itself so you get that like layers. But that is what I'm going to do first thing this morning, and then I'm going to go ahead and go on a walk. It is very rainy today, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to put my rain jacket on and enjoy the nice crisp autumn air. So let's throw this pastry dough together.
I'll never tell a lie. I'll be there when your heart breaks, darling. I won't ever be far.
So on my walk, it's just so awesome. Just the leaves are falling off the trees. I don't know if anybody else did this as a child, but I would always stand under the trees and wait for a little bit of wind to come and for leaves to come falling down and try to catch as many as I could. I got one on my walk as I was just walking by. It's just so much fun. It's those simple little joys that, you know, is more in childhood, but why not enjoy just trying to catch a leaf as you're walking by?
I can hide your fears, I can wipe your tears, I can hold your thumb down, darling. Tell you it's okay to focus on today. Don't forget a heart beats 2 times. I won't fade away.
let's try one of my little apple turnovers. They're so good. What a perfect like autumn treat. Really nice and buttery pastry, and the applesauce in it is really good. I hope you enjoyed this kind of vlog style video, just a little of the things I'm getting up to as we're now in the definite midst of fall. It's going to be winter before we know it. And if you like content just kind of around slow, simple, and natural living, please check out my channel and consider subscribing to join this community of like-minded folk. I'm putting out a new video every single Monday, and I hope to see you in the next one. But it is done for me today, so see you soon.
And I keep searching for truth. Got the